morning, family. Happy Friday. Y'all, left my car mount to be able to put my camera down in the car to be able to talk to y'all, and I wanted to have a little discussion today. I'm sad, but anyway, before we jump into just what we're doing, how are y'all doing? How are y'all doing today? It's Friday. We made it to Friday. It's time for the weekend, time to rest, relax, retreat, rejuvenate, all the things that you need to do from your week. So I hope you guys are having a good Friday and a good weekend, and let me know how you are doing. So we are currently on our way to Monroe, Louisiana for a funeral. My ex-dad passed away, and so we are going down to be support. And I wanted to have a little chat with you guys about that concept, because I told a couple people that we were going, and they were like, okay, you're going to your ex's dad's funeral. That's weird. And I'm like, why is this a thing? So I wanted to chat with y'all about that. But I don't know if I'm going to get to, because I left my car mount. So anyway, we just stopped, got some food, so I'm going to eat my lovely McDonald's, because we drove for, it's a 4-hour drive away from where we live, and we were driving for 1 hour and 30 minutes before we got to civilization. Well, let me not say civilization, because there was people where we were, but there was no food, no gas, no nothing, just people's houses and land. So we finally made it to a section where we were like, okay, we can stop and get some food. So, which, by the way, that makes me
continue on US 278 West.
I have a question. You know, they're always like, don't stop in little small towns when you're black. That was a thing. But all these small towns are black. I've noticed that. I don't think we've driven anywhere, drove anywhere yet where a small town has been all white, where we felt. Yeah, now I'm curious. Was there a time where these towns were white? Or
they all moved to the suburbs? Yeah, it's
or
weird.
was that lies, like fear mongering?
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, you guys, we are heading back home. I thought I would get on here. I figured out a way to set my camera up, so we'll see if this works out. But just wanted to chat and share our thoughts on, you know, supporting your ex or having a relationship with your ex beyond that particular relationship, and why is that so taboo amongst people? You know, why are people like, oh, you still talk to your ex, or oh, you this and that with your ex? And it's like, yeah, like, we've moved on. They're married, I'm married, we have 12 kids. So there is nothing going down in that lane. So I just wanted to chat why that is so taboo. You guys share why you feel like it's taboo for people to have relationships with their ex beyond the relationships or friendship or whatever. I don't know. Why do you think it's taboo in the world?
I think that a lot of people naturally feel like that it's a dog-eat-dog world, and everybody's out for themselves. Just like the old 90s movie with Sarah Michelle Gellar and Salma Hayek, Cruel Intentions. So I think you got that in the back of your mind. It's hard to have unique relationships with exes like that. they say platonic, there's no such thing as platonic friends. So I guess in the back of the mind, they're always afraid. Some people are worried that you never truly got over your ex, and that there's always a possibility that something could just spark. The last thing, you know, anybody wants to have to deal with is one person come home and they see them with their ex. Right.
Okay, but I feel like that's all true. That is exactly what it is. People are afraid that you're gonna rekindle something with your ex and I don't know, leave them or cheat on them or whatever. So my thoughts are that was supposed to be like you trying to prevent this friendship and having these issues and being all mad and and upset. Ultimately, you're just preventing or blocking what would happen regardless. So you're not, like, that person isn't being faithful to you or not leaving you for their ex because they love you and want to be with you. It's because you're stopping them.
I agree. At that point, if that happened, that meant the whole time you were on two different wavelengths. And you both didn't still feel the same about each other. However, at the same time, people get into a comfort zone. So understanding the risk that could impose versus the level of comfort, and they just don't like change and they're just content where they are. They just don't want that type of interruption to occur. Even though the Matrix, it was inevitable.
Right, exactly. Now, I do feel like there are times when you cannot have a friendship with an ex. You know, if that ex, right.
If there's still feelings involved on one side or the other, absolutely.
Right. If your ex is messy and trying to cause problems in your relationship and that person just got all these extra things going on, or you have unresolved feelings, or the way the breakup happened wasn't, a mutual breakup or wasn't a good breakup or something like that, then in those cases, of course, you can't continue or have a friendship or a relationship beyond that because you have all that extra stuff going on. But then I feel like if it's on you, you need to work through that before you even get married anyway. You shouldn't be going into your marriage with baggage from your ex or your past relationships. All that should have been resolved prior to the marriage.
Right, and especially, I think it's one of those things, if you're the issue, then absolutely. Like, if you're the one that can compromise the whole relationship, you should have worked through that with your ex before even trying to get into another relationship. But of course, at that point, that's a whole new conversation of if that new person, that person you're with now, is just the fall guy.
Right, rebound.
The rebound. Second of all, your ex is just talking crazy and you tried to end a professional friendship level and they still just trying to pursue. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. That you just have to move on with your life, even if your ex is still trying to get you back.
Can't have a friendship.
Don't want to be with them.
Right, you definitely can't have a friendship with that person. So I think for me and my ex were together in high school. So my whole entire high school career and pretty much my whole college career until I met him. So we were together for quite a long time. And our breakup wasn't the best breakup because it was related to him.
No. Yes, it was related.
So it wasn't the best breakup. However, years and years have passed since that happened. Like, that was over 20 years ago. And over that time of 20 years, there has been conversations, and I feel like healing and understanding between not only me and my ex, but also me and him, with just how that whole thing played out. So there's been tons and tons of conversations and healing and things like that. And so now here we are 20 years later, all grown-ups. We're all grown-ups. We're all mature. He's married. He has kids. I'm married. I have kids. But we shared one part of our lives together. This is why I encourage my kids when people ask me about me telling my kids to wait and not date people and all of that stuff. This is the example that I give them, because you give somebody a chunk of your life. Like, this person gets to know you on an intimate level, rather you're having sex with them or not. And if you're having sex with them, it's even way more intimate. But you're sharing like a piece of yourself. Like, I knew his parents and he knew my parents, and we spent holidays together. Like, this is a legit part of your life. And when you're dating somebody, it's like you're married to them. You just don't live together, because you're doing all those things that you would do with your spouse. You're spending holidays together. You're going on vacations together. You're doing all the stuff. And so then you break up, and this person has a whole chunk of your life. So for me, I try to tell my kids, this is why you just wait and try to find the person that you want to marry, and then you don't have this whole unresolved or resolved relationship sitting over here with a person that, if you marry somebody that's not like him or me, that would be understanding and respectful of that relationship. Now you got this person that's over here that shared a whole chunk of your life, and you're not, like, you don't have no communication with them. So it's kind of how that's my feelings on it. Like, he knows that there's nothing there. So why would I not go and support a friend? That would be like a friend calling and saying their parent died, and I don't go because my husband doesn't like that friend.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think to accomplish that type of relationship, like you said, you can't have a messy situation. And it's so important that you, unlike us, you have a clear and clean break.
Right.
Because I think for me, because I am very much not a what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not a jealous type. So because Danielle was, on the fence about 2 or 3 different guys at one time, I think that put a bad taste in everybody's mouth. And so her ex, I can understand why he felt the way he felt about me, as well as I can understand why I felt the way I felt about him. Fast forward a few years later, we all wind up meeting for dinner one day. You gotta have, that level of trust in your spouse. So I've never had an issue with her communicating. Like I say, a few years later, we met for dinner. For the traditional family couple, that would be very much so challenging. But I can assure you, we are not like Will and Jada in entanglements.
Really?
So we wind up having dinner. Everything was fine. He definitely displayed a huge level of maturity. He brought his son, and of course the maturity I provided over the years. Wind up having a great dinner. So then fast forward it again, when his dad passed away, you don't ever want to lose a family member. Of course, to deny, her coming to the funeral. And of course, I wouldn't mind anyway, because I'm not jealous-hearted. That was a no-brainer. Of course, she asked if I wanted to go, and that was absolutely I would go, because we're on a different level. When we got there face-to-face, I mean, literally just like old friends. He's married. I know that he's moved on with his life. I've moved on with my life. The 3 of us was just chatting it up. So it takes time, but I think the biggest thing is to make sure that the foundation is established right, a solid foundation at the very beginning, and just be open-minded. Because again, at the end of the day, if you have feelings for that person, then it was never meant to be.
Exactly. And that, it goes back to, I think, being jealous. I think the reason a lot of the reason why people feel like you about the messy, dramatic exes and all that stuff. I'm talking about legit. We were dating 10 years ago. We've moved on, but we can't be friends because my now boyfriend, husband, girlfriend, wife is jealous. I think a lot of it just plays off of people being jealous and insecure and trying to prevent their spouse from leaving or cheating. It all plays under that umbrella to me. The same reason women will do things or say things like, girl, you better do that because if you don't, another woman will. Yeah. And so now that woman feels like, oh, I gotta do it because if I don't, he's gonna cheat. It's the same kind of idea and concept. If he meets up with his ex, he's gonna be, you know, he might cheat on me with her, or if she meet up. And I think not only does it come with a level of maturity, but also security and confidence. Like, you gotta be secure within yourself, you gotta trust your spouse, and then you just gotta be okay. And then you also gotta, if they cheat, then it wasn't it. Right. I need to know now. No, go ahead and let's see what happens. See what happens, so I'll know what I need to do with myself over here. So yeah, and I think, you know, for him, when it comes to his ex, because that's came up, oh, what if it was, the shoe was flipped and it was his ex? So he has way more exes than I do. 3 that were serious, 3 exes. One I've met, and his high school sweetheart. I've met her. It started out, she was drama, just dramatic and drama. And again, I think that all played with age and just immaturity. And then we got grown because his ex is cousins. They're cousins, right? They're cousins, right? Yeah. His ex is cousins with his sister's best friend. And we actually did his sister's best friend's wedding photos because we used to do photography. And we actually did her wedding photos. And so of course his ex was in the wedding. And so me being, you know, in the room with them while they were getting dressed and just all of that conversation, like at that point it was done and over and squashed. And she was like, oh, okay, his wife is pretty cool. And so later down the line, we sat in a room together, me, him, her, and the sister's best friend. And I mean, she shared all of the juicy details of their high school love.
Somebody around here knocking the bed.
So, you know, and it's like, okay, whatever. Like, I know he's not trying to be with her. I'm not worried or threatened at all. And then his ex before me, she's married and doing her life, and I just feel like she's not interested in my husband.
Wait a minute.
Like, I think she just moved on. Like, she matured in a different direction. I'm not saying that in a bad way.
No,
like,
you just said it. That wasn't.
I'm saying y'all broke up for a reason, and she wanted something different. And
I'll be able to share that story later with you all and let you determine for yourself.
That's my theory. So now his other ex.
Such a sweet person.
If I ever see her, y'all, I told her, I used to say I'm a puncher in the face or a gut puncher, but now that I'm mature, I'ma just slap her. I'ma just slap her if I ever see her. And it's not even related to him per se, it's because she was drama, like drama. You know, just caused so much drama on me, with me, directly with me. So those kind of relationships, obviously not, you know. But his other 2 exes, if he was like, hey, their mom or dad passed or whatever, and keep in mind, I do think it also matters what kind of relationship and how long y'all were together. If you were together for 6 months and you like, oh, such and such died, and you didn't even have a relationship for real with that parent or then I'd be questioning that. But if he was like, such and such mom's died or dad died and I want to go, then we would go. It wouldn't be, or he would go or whatever. It wouldn't be no issue.
The only funeral I would go to is my high school sweetheart.
Right.
That would be it. Not my last engagement or anything.
Right, exactly. I don't even think you had a relationship with her parents.
I mean, it wasn't significant.
Right, exactly. Like when you're in high school and you're dating somebody, you're dating seriously, those people almost raise you. Like you're always at their house. It's just a different kind of dynamic, I think. And this is why you shouldn't be dating in high school. But you know, whatever. What do I know? So I do feel like it's unfortunate that people create these standards around what you should and shouldn't do and what's appropriate and what's not appropriate, and then try to make you feel bad or feel like you should be sketched or you should be wary because you don't fall into that norm or that standard. Like people want to give him a trophy for going to the funeral, and it's like, why would that deserve a trophy?
Because I supported you. I was there. I was able to put all that foolery to the side and focus on the big picture at hand.
We gonna give out trophies for being mature?
The only people that wants to give me an award are the people who could never grow to that level.
Exactly.
That's all. But the people who like, yeah, I mean, that's what you should do. But I would like to think that everybody over time matures to that level and have built that relationship with their existing loved one and able to have that level of trust, respect, maturity, all that.
Y'all let me know if that's the case, because I know so many people that still to this day are like, I can't talk to my ex, or
because they still have
or
feelings. Right, they still have feelings.
No, they're like, I can't talk to my ex because my significant other would be mad and they not having that, and they would be having a heart attack, and they would be like, why? Because they're so jealous. You know what I hate, y'all? Hate such a strong word. You know what I don't like? I do not like things like, I can't do that because my husband is too jealous. So like, I can't wear, like right now I have my shirt on and it's unbuttoned, and a woman would be like, ooh girl, I can't do that because my husband, he is too jealous. He does not want no other man looking at me. That irks me so bad, because you should be concerned about a jealous man. That's my forewarning about a jealous man. Number two, I'm not your property for you to tell me what I can and cannot do. I'm not your property and I'm not your child. So you can't be like, I don't want nobody else looking at you. I didn't know that was your choice.
When you get married, you are one. He is you and you are him.
We're one.
So what's yours is his and what's his is yours.
No. Yeah, that piece of chicken, but not my body. And y'all, this is exactly why y'all know that marital rape just became illegal. That's a real thing. Just became illegal. So it's stuff like that. That irks me to my soul. So women be like, oh, I can't talk to my ex because he is just my husband is too jealous. That's a red flag to me. I'm throwing up all the red flags like,
of respect for him, knowing what he likes and dislikes
Okay.
in her.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I think I would word that differently. I think I would say something like, I'm not going to do that because my husband doesn't like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Or,
Well, so what's the difference between that and I'm not going to do that because I know my husband don't like that?
I mean, that's just...
It's the same
If you
thing.
talk, no, I said it when they be like, I can't do that because my husband is too jealous.
And I
Language, y'all,
genuinely
language
care and
matters.
respect,
Language matters.
and I genuinely care for and respect.
Right. So I would say I'm not going to do that because my husband wouldn't appreciate
I
that
think
or
it's
wouldn't
just
like
what it
that.
Not
So
can.
I am making a conscious decision not to do that out of respect and love for my husband because I know that he wouldn't like it. Not that I can't do it because my husband is too jealous.
I can't do that because I respect my husband too much and know he doesn't like that.
I could do it, but I'm not going to do it because I respect my husband.
Sure. Tomato.
It's not because it's language.
Either way, I think it's because of the level of respect and not because
It's a language matters because either it's a level of respect or it's a level of fear.
of the realities of domestic abuse, and I'm sure that can play a role as well in regards to women saying it out of fear.
Yeah, I think women that literally say I can't mean that they can't. They would if they could, but they can't.
What about I'm not going to do that? I can't.
Why can't you? See that's the follow-up. Why
Because
can't you?
because my husband does not like that, and I'm not going to, and I'm going to respect the fact he doesn't like that.
Okay, touche. That's fine. That language is fine. But I can't because he's too jealous. So if he wasn't jealous, you would. See what I'm saying? If he wasn't jealous, you would do it.
Yeah, I think so.
Exactly.
I think so.
So that means there is a fear. It's the same with kids, y'all. Think about it.
But I think if somebody's like,
I'm not going to do that because I would get in trouble if my parents caught me doing it. So if you knew you weren't going to get in trouble or your parents weren't going to catch you, then you would do it. Conversation went all the way out. Basically, all I'm saying is that I think people need to reassess when they are thinking about their exes and talking about their exes and all of these things. I think the conversation needs to go deeper and not just be surface.
absolutely.
Because
it's gonna come up eventually.
Right, it's gonna come up. Like before you even get married, before you go down that road, before you commit, you need to be having these conversations and talking about that and discussing these things.
If you had an ex that truly, y'all had a long relationship, true, honest, loving relationship at one point, I think it's natural for an ex to reach out just to see how you're doing.
Because if they ever loved you,
Right.
they didn't just one day stop loving you.
So the last thing you want is for Jimmy John to call, be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And your husband Ray like,
Right, exactly. So, exactly. You need to have these conversations prior to and figure out what's the hang-ups and what's going on inside of you, inside of this spouse that is preventing any type of relationship with somebody from your past. And again, somebody that obviously you share a strong connection to. It would be the same if you were married and then divorced and y'all had kids together. Now y'all got a co-parent. And if you're going to do it in a healthy way, then, you know, that requires you to have some form of relationship with the child's father.
you know, you just gotta have the mindset. You you have to have the trust, but you also gotta, like the song says, if it's meant to be, it'll be. These are some of the things that counselors should be talking about. Marriage counselors, premarital. You know, even in the church, I know it's taboo.
It is taboo.
And they're gonna say, oh, you shouldn't have any reasons to talk to your ex. But that's just not reality.
Right, because you don't know the relationship that person had with their ex extent. So to just say you shouldn't be, there's no reason to talk to your ex, you should be cutting them off. They'll say that you should respect your husband's wishes, or you should respect your wife's wishes enough to just not talk to them. Instead of turning to the other partner and being like, okay, let's stay here for a while and figure out what's going on inside of you, that you don't want this person to have a conversation or relationship with their ex that had this significant part of their life. Let's stay there for a minute. Instead, you should respect them enough,
right,
and respect their wishes, versus being like, okay, let's address what's going on with you, and then addressing that jealousy, that insecurity, and all those things. Because let me tell you, it's gonna come up in other areas. If it ain't the ex, it's gonna be the coworker. If it's not the coworker, it's gonna be the friend. If it's not the friend, that could be the same sex, it's gonna be the kids. If it's not the kids, it's gonna be the job. Like, if this person has jealousy and insecurity issues, they're gonna come up in other parts of the relationship at some point. So you might as well address them head on at the beginning, at the forefront of it. That's my 2 cents. Anyway, y'all, let us know what you think.